Welcome back to another episode of Craftworks. If you didn't catch out our last episode, we got a lot done right here at the beginning of our mega base. This is where all the lore started, and we did a lot of detailing, as you can see behind me. But today we are going to move into our actual mega base, start building in there, and we'll talk about the plans. So let's go over there for a second. Okay, so we're just walking through the last part of this, and what we're going to do when we come out here is start seeing where our mega base is going to go, which is over here. And right now it's just an old village and a few dirt pillars. Can you see them? That is going to be our build today. So what I've really been trying to do, and I'm going to come back here real quick, is that I want to work on the sight lines. So you think about all the sight lines, the different details we put in here. Well, I want when someone comes here, not just to have a straight road, but to have a reason to go over there. So as you can see, I have 3 tall dirt pillars there of kind of what I want the focal point to be. So independent of what kind of ends up happening out here, or at the river here, or when you first get over the river, but it gives you that sight line of, hey, I want to go see what is over there. So I've kind of taken the road that we laid out a little while ago, started putting up where we're gonna build this next thing. I'm trying not to spoil what it is just yet, but I've got kind of the level we're gonna build it at, the different heights where things are gonna go, and I guess not the heights, just the position. So that way we can really know, is this exactly where we want to start building? And I think it is. So I'm gonna go cut down some jungle trees over here. We've got some crops going. As you know, we're dirt poor, so we're going to keep building with those materials. So let me go get some things gathered up, and then we can start at least maybe building an outline of what this building is going to be. Okay, and from that time lapse, you saw us start trying to get some of this covered over. I don't know if we're covered over all this episode. We'll do it as we do kind of the landscaping around this, but I think we got the space for our building. And this, I think, is going to play into future ideas. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be, but one thing we've been using a little bit is this spider farm. Spiders are great because all we have to do is just stand here, knock out that torch, they come over here, we get some string. But that's going to make for, I think, an opportunity for us to make some kind of farm. I don't know that we need that much string, but at least it's close by. And I actually just found that not too long ago. So it's been here this whole time, stuck down in that cave, but that's not what we need for right now. Next, we need to start getting the building materials. And if you've never used packed mud, it is quite the process. So one of the things I'm going to come in here is actually have an efficiency 1 shovel here, because what I do, and you can see I've already been doing a bunch of the mud here, is we're going to stick that efficiency shovel in one hand, dirt in the other, and just hold both mouses. Oh, maybe it's the other way around. Let's try it that way. There we go. Got a little confused there. It's maybe a little loud on your side, but that is how great this machine is. We can just sit here and just keep making mud like crazy. So that's what I'm going to do. Sit here, get the mud, and then we'll go make some packed mud. All right, and we got enough mud here, and I was able to get some hay. We keep growing it out here, letting it just grow, harvest. And if you haven't seen this process before, maybe I should dump off some of my dirt first. We're going to unpack this, and then we're just going to start making mud bricks, or I guess it's packed mud. These are the mud bricks. So we're going to sit here, get this all going. I'm going to need some coarse dirt. We have the regular dirt. What else do I need? Oh, I might try some mushrooms. I haven't done brown mushrooms in these builds yet. Maybe I'll go see if Millie's got some. All right, now that we have some materials, it's time to do it. It's time to lay the foundation down. I've marked a little bit of what I'm thinking I'm going to do here. We're going to see how this plays out. So basically I want this 7 wide. So that's the middle. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think that's right. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I think the next one was like 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that's going to be the wall that comes in this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I'm going to do is actually build out like these walls so it kind of looks like they're sunk back in a little. This will be like a ridge. So let's lay this out and see if that's going to give us, let's just double count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's right. So let me keep doing this. We'll get the base and see how big this thing's actually going to be. Okay, and with that foundation, we can start seeing how big this thing's going to be. So let me fly up here and we can see just how big this building's going to be. And I still don't think I've told you what it is. And I'm not going to for just a bit. You're going to have to keep watching. But next, I'm going to try and build up kind of the frame so we can at least see what the structure is going to be. The detailing is going to be, I think, the hardest part because this is a dirt poor people. They're doing everything out of just whatever they have lying around. So let's get in that structure, the main supports for it, and we'll see what we've got. Oh wow, that was like all of my mud bricks, but I think we're finally starting to get the frame, and you might be able to start being able to tell what it is. It's going to be a big church. Yeah, that's right. When these people settled, they found, I don't know what you would call it, a village or god, someone. We haven't figured out the lore behind it yet, but they built a church to him. Or her, I don't know. Gotta still figure that part out, but as you can see, I at least got the frame out here. Kind of got the pieces so I can at least be able to do the detailing as we go. I still don't have the back little portion on, but maybe let's take a quick view from the sky. So you can start seeing kind of the scale of this, where it comes down, and I'm actually going to come over to kind of where we were. And the reason I wanted to build this church right here is this is where the clerics are going to live. And I wanted this sight line so that as you're coming around the corner here, let's walk a little bit farther down. Right now you totally can't see it, which I think is perfect. And then just as you come around the corner, you're going to have this massive church right in your sight line. So you can see the portion of the road is going to curve however it needs to for whatever we put out here. But at least that intrigues you to like keep coming into the city and seeing what is there. Now, most of this is going to be built out of mud, moss, dirt, coarse dirt, some jungle planks like we cut down because they started out super dirt poor in this area. And this is the first thing they built after those. So it's got to be made out of dirt. So now it's time to start figuring out how we're going to do the walls. I think it's going to be very similar to kind of what we did over at Cheap Cheap, if you remember that. So I'm going to start by maybe getting in one side, and we'll see how that looks. Okay, this project is going to be a ton of mud, and my mud farm is great out there, but didn't want to just AFK overnight. Wanted to be able to kind of dig, so I came clear out here. You can see I'm at 4,000 blocks out, then 3,000 the other way. So we're a ways out here, and I came specifically out here so I could dig all this mud up. Brought some shulker boxes with me, so I'm just going to dig out here as much as possible, see how many boxes we can get filled, because I want to get this project going a little bit quicker than just waiting at my machine to AFK. So let's get busy digging out. And a while later, we have cleaned out probably too much of this. I don't know. We tried to go until my shovel was almost done. Probably should have brought an extra one. But as you can see, we cleared out a lot here, which is going to be great because that was a lot shorter time than what I would have done back at my AFK farm. And let's see if I can even jump up here. So luckily this can be pretty quick. We didn't quite fill up our shulker boxes. We got this one full, pretty close on this one. And as you can see, we have a whole bunch of mangrove roots too. That's not for me. That's going to be for Millie. She needs those for some reason. So we're going to pick these up, go drop those off, and then get back to building. And back at the church, we are ready to take down some of this wheat and make that mud that we just got into some more bricks so we can keep building. And a while later, we at least got a facade. There you go. There is the front. Now we don't have all of the back done or the sides, so it's pretty sparse, but, and this tree keeps getting in the way, we actually have a facade. You can start seeing what it's going to look like. And I love that it's sitting up on this hill. It feels towering. And what's even better, let's fly back over here for a second, because I kind of love this reveal. You're walking through here, and then all of a sudden, now you can see what those dirt pillars were meaning, kind of that sight line. Being able to walk out here, see where the path is going, and our big church sitting up there on the hill. So it'll kind of anchor this area, give us a place that we can walk up to. And there's still a lot of work to do left on this, so we need to get busy getting those sides in. And I don't know how much of this we're going to finish in this episode. It's funny when you get a concept in your head and you get it out going and you realize, wow, that is a lot more work than I anticipated. But that's all right. We're going to jump in and let's see if we can knock out maybe one of the sides. See if we can figure out exactly what these windows are going to look like. And maybe I'll get both sides. I don't know. But let's get one and we'll see what it looks like. All right, and that side is in. I think it's looking pretty good. Obviously, you can see all the way through the village, so ignore that. But really what we wanted was some nice windows here. You can see what we're starting to do with the roof. I didn't want this to all be brown, all be those colors. I want it to look like they just built with whatever they had. So we're going to work on the roof probably after we get the other side in. You can at least see the concept that they had to use moss blocks. We'll use some other green. There's going to even be grass growing up there. You'll see what that looks like in just a bit. So I'm going to get the other side in. We're going to start building out the roof. And I've got the whole backside and the inside. So plenty of work to do. So let's keep grinding. All right, and I'm looking at the floor because it's time for a big update. We got that wall in. We got that wall in. And the ceiling with its supports. I think this is looking awesome. Wasn't quite sure about the beams. I tried some wood. I tried some fences. But I think if these people are dirt poor, they just stuck on the bricks thing. Now I know architecturally that's maybe not the best support or realistic, but I think it's going to give us kind of that feeling that we just used dirt to build this, and we got the wood on the inside. Now what that's going to look like, let me get some rockets here, is from the outside, you're going to be able to see the roof here a little bit bare, which I haven't really done much on. We can just see the interior poking through, but this green moss, we're going to do a couple different versions of green so that we get some better texturing. I don't want it to just be all one color. We want it to look like maybe it got mossy at different levels. So we're going to use some terracotta, some maybe green, concrete powder. I'm going to mix it up. I'm not quite sure on that. And then the cool thing with using the moss is we can put some of the grass up on here. We can put some flowers. We can kind of make it look like it's really grown over. So that is kind of the progress of where we're at with this. So obviously there's a lot we need to do still on the roof. And we have a big gaping hole. I haven't quite figured out what I want to do for the back. I think I want some kind of a window. So we could figure out, like, is the deity that they worship, is it the sun god? Is it, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. So that's where I'm kind of falling apart for a second. So I'm going to try some concepts here and we'll see what it's looking like. I think I have an idea for kind of a sun window. So let's get that in and see if it's looking good. And the back wall is in. Wow, that was a lot for me to figure out. And now that I'm looking at it, I didn't put the glass in. Whoops. Well, we got to do that, but that's okay. We got kind of the stage area in here. We've got some candles, and I should definitely show you the little chandeliers coming down. They got the candles up on them. It doesn't provide a lot of light, so we have light buried here in the floor. but I think it's going to add a lot more atmosphere to it. And obviously we need to get some benches in here. We need to figure out what's going on this back wall. But you can see I've kind of tried to make this feel like maybe it's the sun god. They crashed here during the night because they didn't have enough light. So now they worship the sun and they want sun in their lives. So we're going to have some beds in here. Obviously, we're going to get a little more into moving villagers into separate buildings. So that's really going to be one of the concepts, is that each of the buildings we're going to have here will have a different villager. So out here where they're living in the tents, once they started coming in, they wanted to group by occupation, I guess. And so in here, we're actually going to put some brewing stands, and all the clerics are going to live here. So they'll have their brewing stands here. The first few benches are going to be beds so they can sleep in here. The back ones, I think we might just use wood or, I don't know, maybe quartz, because I don't want all the villagers to track into here. But I think if we can get those details in, then I can start working out here. Obviously, we've got a lot of big holes. It's still floaty in a few spots. So let me add some more details, and then I think we're going to wrap this episode. And as we get close to finishing up the details, I wanted to come back over here and grab one last thing real quick. So on this server, when you get all the heads of a certain type, you get these golden rewards. So I've gotten this golden glow squid and this golden zombie villager. We're actually going to use that head, and let's go over here. Been burning through rockets, so I brought over some ender pearls so that we can get around a little bit quicker. But as you're going to be able to see from the outside, we've put in some trees. I started the landscape, not sure I'm 100% happy with it. But inside the church, we have different people sitting on the couches. We have these beds where the villagers will eventually sleep. And their positions are all pretty static right now. I just used a sitting version. So we got to spice them up a little, make it a little more interesting. But up here, we can put the gold head. And there you go. I'm not sure on his position. I don't know what he should be doing. It was supposed to be like holding up the sun up there that we put. So I don't know if that's right, but we'll keep playing with it. We have a lot more decorations to do in here, but definitely wanted to show you that we got the majority of the inside of this done. Now it's going to be putting in the brewing stands, configuring the people a little bit different. But if you have ideas on what other details we could put in here, I think that would be great. So please leave those down in the comments so we can update them. I need to build a greeter. We might do a little better. Oh, I haven't even finished this portion. So as you can see, there's some little details. I'll work on those offline. But I wanted to give you one last view of what we got here. So as you can see, there's the church, and it's sitting up on the hill. You can see, and maybe I should park on one of these trees and see if we can get a better view. As you can see that we wanted the roof to feel grown over. They didn't have the best materials, so we built it out of moss, some other things, and grass started growing on there. So this is very much that dirt poor mentality. It looks nice, but still dirt poor. You can kind of see from the back here. And then we got some basic trees going in. And so that gives us really the foundation. I'm still not sure what to do out here. You can see I haven't finished a lot of the landscaping around it. We did put in a road that goes up to the church, but I'm not quite sure how I want to handle the front. So I put a tiered system in. Still might rip that out. Again, if you have any ideas, leave them down in the comments. But let's go over here and check one last time on how our sightline's looking. So when we're coming through the village or the tents, and you pop out and you see it. Oh, I think it's looking great, especially with the trees kind of flanking it. You can see it, want to go investigate. And I think as we get more of the landscape, it's just going to keep making it look that much better. But y'all, that is going to do it for this episode. Definitely make sure to leave down in the comments any ideas you have on how we build extra decorations around here. Obviously, as we get more buildings, that's going to help us know how the landscape looks. But there's our church, and we are ready to keep putting more detail and see what else goes in this area. So again, thanks for watching. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon.